For decades, the internet was built around one assumption, that a human being is always on the other side of the transaction. Shopping carts, login screens, credit card portals, all of it, designed for human hands and human decisions. But right now, that assumption is being deleted. Software agents are already buying data, negotiating contracts, and settling payments, without a single human clicking confirm. And the companies that don't see this coming, they're about to become invisible to the next generation of enterprise buyers. Today, we break down exactly how this is happening, the new payment protocols, the AI negotiation systems, and the infrastructure being quietly rebuilt for machine buyers. We'll look at what this means for your business, your supply chain, and where the real investment opportunity is hiding. 5 years ago, machine customer was just a term in a Gartner report that most executives skimmed and ignored. Think about how procurement worked back then. Someone emails a supplier, waits 2 days for a quote, manually enters it into an ERP system, chases an approval, and finally issues a PO. The whole process could take 2 weeks, and every single step required a human to move it forward. That was considered normal. Then the supply chain chaos of the early 2020s hit, and it exposed just how fragile human-dependent procurement really was. Margins got squeezed, costs climbed, and executives started asking a dangerous question: what if the internet itself is the bottleneck? Every shopping cart, every password prompt, every human-in-the-loop approval, all of it was slowing AI down. For machines to truly drive commerce, the internet had to be rebuilt around them. For AI to become a driver of commerce, the infrastructure had to change. Everyone is still talking about AI chatbots, but underneath that noise, 3 infrastructure deployments in the last 6 months have quietly triggered the shift to fully autonomous commerce. First, the payment rail. In May 2026, Stripe and Tempo launched the Machine Payments Protocol. By reviving the long-dormant HTTP 402 Payment Required Status Code, MPP allows an AI agent to execute fractional cent microtransactions over standard HTTP requests without a checkout UI. The agent is issued a scoped, programmatic virtual card, allowing it to autonomously buy data, compute power, or APIs. In plain terms, an AI can now pay for things on the internet. No human required. Second, B2B negotiation. At SAP Sapphire in 2026, SAP Taulia announced Intelligent Terms Negotiations and the Working Capital Agent. This embedded AI assesses supplier data and autonomously negotiates early payment discounts, aligning external payments with internal liquidity targets in real time. AI is now sitting at the negotiating table, and it never sleeps. Third, the operational reconciliation. Paraglide AI has introduced agentic systems directly into the order-to-cash process. These aren't standard automated reminders. These are agents that resolve inbound billing queries, handle unstructured disputes, and execute end-to-end collections, reducing Days Sales Outstanding, or DSO, by an average of 34%. That 34% DSO reduction isn't a small efficiency gain, that's a structural competitive advantage. This convergence of programmable payments, autonomous negotiation, and agentic reconciliation creates a bifurcated market reality. Let's look at the scorecard. Now, let's be honest about both sides of this. The upside is real machine customers don't sleep, don't make typos, and don't go on vacation. They parse complex procurement contracts instantly and settle transactions at fractions of a cent. Working capital that used to sit locked in 30-day payment cycles can now move in real time. That is a genuine structural advantage for enterprises that get this right. But the downside is just as real. If your finance team can't audit what an AI agent spent and why, you have a compliance nightmare. If your ERP is from 2008, integration isn't a minor IT project, it's a multi-year overhaul. And if a bad actor compromises a machine customer's credentials, they don't steal one transaction, they potentially drain an automated spending pipeline. These aren't edge case risks, they are the core challenges every enterprise will face. To understand the scale of this displacement, we look to the data. Next Move Strategy Consulting projects the global machine customers market will hit $4.19 billion by 2030. Growing at a steady 9% annually. To put that in context, this market barely existed as a defined category 3 years ago. That growth rate isn't hype-driven speculation, it's being pulled forward by measurable enterprise cost savings happening right now. Growth is currently heavily concentrated in North American and European enterprise sectors, driven by the immediate ROI found in supply chain finance and SaaS procurement. For investors, the strategic play is no longer in the application layer, it is in the infrastructure layer. The protocols, the agentic security gateways, and the decentralized identity networks that facilitate these transactions are where the enterprise value is compounding. Inside boardrooms right now, the first question executives ask is always the same: can this actually work with what we already have? And the honest answer is it depends entirely on how you implement it. The companies that are failing are the ones bolting an AI agent onto the front of a legacy system and calling it a transformation. It doesn't work. The companies winning are the ones using native integrations Paraglide embedded directly inside the finance inbox. SAP Taulia, operating inside SAP Joule. The AI lives inside the workflow, not outside it. Inside those boardrooms, the second question executives ask is always rooted in risk. Can we scale this without losing control? The fear of a rogue algorithm draining corporate funds is a valid, systemic concern. But here is what the data actually shows. The scalability of machine customers is genuinely unprecedented, but unlocking it requires one fundamental, structural shift in how leadership operates. You must stop thinking about human oversight and start thinking about policy-based governance. In the legacy model, a human audits a transaction after it happens. In the autonomous model, the audit is baked into the code before the transaction even begins. With infrastructure like Stripe's machine payments protocol, agents do not get unlimited access to a corporate treasury. They operate on cryptographically scoped credentials. This means the AI is issued a virtual card locked mathematically to specific spending limits, precise merchant categories, and predefined time windows. You are not giving an AI a blank check. You are giving it a highly precise, immutable, and auditable mandate. When you establish that cryptographic trust, the operational ceiling vanishes. Here is what the next phase of global commerce actually looks like, and it is closer to deployment than most people realize. To survive this shift, executive leadership must realize that your API is your new flagship store. Your payment gateways need to accept programmatic protocols like Stripe MPP. Your supply chain data needs to be structured, machine-readable, and instantly accessible without a human handshake. The competitive moat is no longer just having the best product, it is having the least amount of digital friction. The next generation of enterprise buyers isn't coming, it is already here, actively crawling the web, assessing your infrastructure, and deciding if you are worth buying from. The gap between the AI-ready enterprise and the legacy corporation is widening by the millisecond. The technology is no longer the bottleneck. Executive execution is to move beyond the surface trends and explore the deep financial modeling driving the systemic shift. You need granular, actionable data. Review the comprehensive, data-driven market analysis by Next Move Strategy Consulting, linked in the description below. It breaks down the exact growth rates, regional adoption patterns, and the operational blueprints your enterprise needs to adapt immediately. Subscribe for more research-driven intelligence on the future of enterprise tech, and ensure your business is ready for the algorithmic buyer.